Welcome to the Tim Booker channel, where wisdom is worth sharing. Wishing you an enjoyable listening experience. Today, I'll be interpreting Die with Zero for you. This is a book in the realm of financial education. Unlike most books on the market that focus on money making, this book stands apart. It delves into the topic of how to spend money to live a regret-free life. Even before the Chinese version of this book was published, it had versions in 8 mainstream languages such as German, Japanese, and Spanish. It's safe to say that it's a globally resonating publication. The author of this book is an American named Bill Perkins, and his journey is quite fascinating. He studied engineering in college. After graduation, he started his career on Wall Street in finance. Later, he co-founded a hedge risk fund with a friend, ventured into film production, and was involved in the creation of several commercial movies. Though his post-graduation endeavors might seem unrelated to his academic background, the 4 years of engineering training in college ingrained in him an analytical mindset to solve a multitude of professional and life-related problems. For instance, let's take the topic discussed in this book, how to spend money to live a regret-free life. Living a regret-free life might sound like a profound philosophical question, but the author believes that from an engineering perspective, it can be transformed into an optimization problem. Specifically, how can we maximize lifelong happiness while minimizing waste? In this book, he provides 9 guidelines, and the main body of the book consists of 9 chapters that revolve around these guidelines. I've included these 9 guidelines in the document as well. If you have time, feel free to take a look. Admittedly, 9 guidelines can be a bit overwhelming and hard to remember. However, after reading the book, I discovered that they can be further summarized into 2 overarching principles. First, prioritize experiential investments, which corresponds to maximizing happiness in the optimization problem. Second, aim for dying with 0 regrets, corresponding to minimizing waste in the optimization problem. These 2 principles might sound a bit unusual at first glance. But don't worry, in the following analysis, I'll delve into how they work and how they can be practically applied. You can then adapt these concepts based on your own circumstances. Let's start with the first principle, emphasizing experiential investments. The idea is quite simple: find things that bring you happiness and spend money to experience them. While this concept might appear obvious, the author reminds us because many people don't fully realize the significance of experiences in our lives. The author shares an example involving his father. In the years leading up to his father's passing, his physical abilities declined significantly, and he lost much of his enjoyment in life. The author then gave his father a special gift, a tablet containing videos of highlights from his father's younger days playing rugby. The father was immensely surprised and repeatedly watched the videos, reminiscing about his younger self and former teammates, sometimes laughing and other times crying. He later told the author that this was the best gift he had ever received. This experience led the author to a profound realization: life is a process of collecting memories, and ultimately, memories are what accompany us. But where do these memories come from? They arise from the experiences we have each day, week, month, year, or even just once in a lifetime, like a first date, a spontaneous backpacking trip, a triumphant competition with friends, and so on. The author emphasizes a key point multiple times in the book: your life is the sum of your experiences. As we grow older and reflect on our lives, the sense of fulfillment we feel depends greatly on the richness of our life experiences. The author also notes that many individuals often focus on the financial appreciation effect while neglecting the experiential appreciation effect. The financial appreciation effect is easily understood. For instance, if you save $100 and let it accumulate interest, it will grow into more money over the years. Similarly, experiences also have this appreciation effect. Have you ever had an experience like this? On an ordinary day, you suddenly hear a song you loved years ago from a roadside speaker, or you taste a flavor in a nondescript restaurant that reminds you of your childhood, or you stumble upon an old videotape or photograph at home, or your phone's photo album reminds you of what you were doing 3 years ago today. At these moments, those past experiences rush back, evoking feelings of nostalgia, embarrassment, joy, or tears. So, each experience doesn't just offer a momentary sensation, but it generates additional value when revisited or discussed later, and this is the experiential appreciation effect. This is why the author in the book considers investing time or money in experiences as a form of investment. Moreover, He believes that the returns from this type of investment are more precious than monetary gains, because money is renewable, possessions can be replaced, whereas the feelings experiences give us are often unique. Therefore, the author advises us to focus on investing in experiences as a fundamental path to maximizing lifelong happiness. However, does this mean we can simply figure out what makes us happy, spend money on those experiences, and be content? It's not that straightforward. The book reminds us that practicality matters when it comes to experiences. For example, the author recounts a story from when he was in his early 20s. His roommate, Jason, who was about the same age, made a bold decision to take a 3-month backpacking trip around Europe. Upon returning, Jason shared photos and various experiences, like enjoying baguettes with cheese and wine in a Parisian park with new friends or spending serene evenings on a beach in the Greek islands with a girl he had met. The author admired Jason and often thought about when he would travel to Europe. However, reality seemed to always intervene, either he felt he didn't have the time or believed he needed to save more money. Eventually, when he was 30, he finally traveled to Europe. Yet, he realized that many of the experiences Jason had enjoyed were no longer available to him. He couldn't stay in youth hostels, nor could he connect with young people as before. Additionally, the weight of work responsibilities forced him to cut his travel time short. In the end, he regretfully mused, "If only I had gone earlier." The author shares this experience to convey that our capacity to enjoy various experiences changes as we go through different stages of life. Just like a single European trip can vary significantly in experience, a 5-year-old child might take such a journey and remember very little, while a 20-year-old young adult could backpack tirelessly like Jason. However, as age increases, physical abilities and adventurous capacities decline. In old age, the main mode of travel might be gentle strolls. People often think that money determines the experiences we can have. But the author believes that a more crucial factor is our capacity to enjoy those experiences, which is closely linked to our age. Once, after earning his first substantial sum of money, the author excitedly gifted his grandmother $10,000. However, over the following year, the only thing his grandmother purchased with that money was a $50 sweater, and it was for the author. Not because she was consciously trying to save money, but because her vitality had diminished to the point where her willingness and ability to spend on experiences were quite limited. Therefore, the author reminds us that if we want to maximize the use of our time and money throughout our lives, the timing of investing in experiences is pivotal. It's not about spending money recklessly, it's about careful planning. How should we plan? I've distilled 4 suggestions from the book for your reference. Firstly, start investing in experiences early. This echoes the famous saying of Warren Buffett, "The best investment you can make is in yourself." Just as in investments, the earlier you start, the longer you have to reap the returns. Some might worry, what if I don't have much money? How can I invest in experiences? In reality, investing in experiences doesn't necessarily require a lot of money. Unlike a survey conducted across the United States, where people were asked about activities that made them happiest, the top-scoring ones included exercising, reading, chatting with family, and playing with children, all of which don't demand significant financial investment. Of course, they do require an investment of time. This is where the additional benefit of investing in experiences early comes into play. When we are young, strong, and full of exploratory zeal, relatively small investments of time and money can yield substantial happiness. For instance, the author's former roommate, Jason, stayed in budget hostels, ate baguettes in parks, yet acquired experiences that he would remember for a lifetime. Thus, we should encourage ourselves to explore low-cost experiences. Even if you lack the funds and time for extensive travel, you can take buses or subways to explore unfamiliar corners of your own city, visit freely accessible art districts, head to the suburbs with friends for paintball, picnics, board games, and more. Many of these low-cost pleasures remain undiscovered by many. However, note that investing in experiences early means starting early to extend the duration of your investment returns. It doesn't mean concentrating all your investments solely in your youth. In fact, with proper planning, regardless of age, we can uncover experiences that suit us, allowing time and money to be maximally effective. This brings us to the second piece of advice in the book regarding experiential investment: segmenting time. This is a simple tool that helps you outline the rough trajectory of your desired life. Take a sheet of paper, draw a line representing your life from now onward, and then divide this line into intervals. Each interval represents 5 or 10 years, essentially an age bracket, like 30 to 35 years old, 35 to 40 years old, and so on. Then, consider the key experiences you want to achieve in your future life, such as attending an outdoor music festival, running a marathon, obtaining a patent, taking your kids to Disneyland, embarking on an Alaskan cruise, reading 20 classic novels, and more. Write down whatever comes to mind, without fearing that the list might be incomplete. You can update it at any time later. Once you've listed these experiences, you should contemplate when each of them is best suited to be achieved and allocate them to the corresponding age brackets. This ensures that the time and money expended in each age segment are maximally effective. In the process, you might also realize conflicting experiences or those that need immediate planning to avoid missing out. This aids in orchestrating your life holistically across dimensions. It could be said that segmenting time is a fundamental framework for contemplating experiential investment. This framework provides room for further customization, leading us to the third and fourth pieces of advice. The third suggests prioritizing investments in health. This doesn't conflict with investing in experiences since good health enhances the enjoyment of various experiences. According to the author, the happiness gleaned from an experience primarily hinges on 3 factors: health, wealth, and free time. Among these, the impact of wealth and free time is momentary, while the impact of health endures and even magnifies with age. For instance, neglecting one's health when young can lead to underlying health issues that not only impact the enjoyment of experiences in youth but also accelerate physical decline in later years. Thus, it's essential to invest in health, improving dietary habits, regular checkups, engaging in preferred physical activities, and commencing these investments early. Now, on to the fourth piece of advice: trading money for free time appropriately. In essence, this means outsourcing certain time-consuming and less enjoyable tasks, such as household chores. For instance, if cleaning your kitchen thoroughly yourself takes 6 hours and your hourly wage equates to about $50, then a viable alternative might be spending $200 to have a professional cleaner do it, while you use that time to take your child to the park, read a book, or engage in any activity that brings you more joy than cleaning. The author mentions that even when he had limited income just after graduating, he employed this strategy, which resulted in many happy weekends. As a person ages and wealth accumulates, and time becomes more valuable, this strategy becomes even more pertinent. This isn't just the author's personal experience. Psychological research also indicates that individuals who are adept at spending money to save time, regardless of their income level, tend to have higher life satisfaction compared to those with similar incomes. This is reasonable since spending money to relieve oneself from disliked tasks not only yields more time for enjoyable pursuits but also reduces negative life experiences, naturally enhancing overall happiness. Alright, in the preceding part, we discussed the first half of the optimization problem of life: how to maximize the feeling of happiness throughout one's life. However, we are also aware that this maximum can only be achieved under certain constraints. For each individual, the maximum they can attain is often different from what I can achieve. Nevertheless, the book informs us about a financial goal that can help everyone maximize happiness within their means. It's the second half of the optimization problem we mentioned earlier: minimizing waste. Specifically, it means that as your life reaches its end, you should aim to have as little money left as possible. I understand that this line of thinking might be intimidating for us. Various concerns might arise in our minds. For instance, what if I live a long life and run out of money? What if I develop a serious illness in my old age? What about my children? Don't worry, we'll address these concerns later. For now, let's listen to the author's explanation of this approach. He mentions that due to his engineering background, he has a habit of valuing efficiency and disliking waste. He believes that one of the worst forms of waste for humans is squandering our life energy. Every cent we earn is exchanged for our life energy. Therefore, wasting our hard-earned money is essentially wasting our life energy. To minimize this, the ultimate goal should be to reach a point of financial zero before we die, that is, spending all our money by the end of our lives. The author isn't the first to propose this idea. Nobel laureate in economics Franco Modigliani once introduced a life cycle hypothesis that explores how people manage their expenditures and savings throughout life to achieve optimal utility. His goal was similarly to spend all one's money by the end of life. This might sound extreme, and who can predict this accurately? Indeed, the notion of spending all before death is an idealized model, a directional goal. It doesn't mean we should spend every last cent before we pass away, it's about minimizing waste. This way, you're using your money to attain as many experiences and as much happiness as possible. You might recall a famous comedic line that somewhat reflects this: do you know what the most painful thing in life is? It's when someone dies and their money isn't spent. True, this partially captures the author's sentiment. However, you might also remember the follow-up line: do you know what's even more painful? It's when someone is alive but has no money. This is a common worry when considering the approach of minimizing waste. But the book reassures us that this concern has been accounted for in the financial market, with multiple solutions available. One of the most typical solutions is purchasing annuity products. In simple terms, you can contribute a certain amount of money periodically or as a lump sum to an insurance company when you have a stable income. Then, when you need retirement income, the insurance company provides you with a fixed monthly sum. The payments last as long as you do, largely addressing the concern of running out of money while alive. Apart from annuities, another worry, the risk of disease, also has solutions in the financial market. Many health insurance policies now cover various scenarios related to substantial medical expenses in old age. However, the author believes that beyond securing back-end insurance, it's wiser to spend more on the prevention and maintenance of health. Many health insurance companies encourage regular health checkups through incentives like premium discounts. But don't neglect everyday health maintenance just because you have insurance. The details of these reasons and practices were discussed in the previous section focusing on investing in health. Alright, after addressing these fundamental concerns and implementing strategies to handle them, if you're interested in understanding how to achieve the goal of minimizing waste, the book provides actionable advice. First, calculate your expected lifespan. I know this might feel a bit eerie, but the author reminds us that disliking something doesn't mean it's not worth doing. Having a rough estimate of your lifespan can help you plan your life more consciously, rather than adopting a carefree attitude of earning, saving, and spending money blindly. How do you calculate your expected lifespan? Well, there are various calculators available. The author consulted friends in the actuarial field who recommended a tool called Actuary's Longevity Illustrator, available on the website of the Society of Actuaries in the US. By answering a few questions, this tool provides a chart illustrating the probability of you living to different ages. Of course, this isn't the only option. Many insurance companies offer free online life expectancy calculators. They'll ask your age, gender, height, weight, smoking and drinking habits, family medical history, and other predictive factors like seatbelt usage. After providing this information, the calculator will give you a rough life expectancy estimate. An additional benefit of this process is that it reminds us of the key factors influencing lifespan. If you want to extend your life, what improvements should you make? After making these improvements, you can reassess, and the results might change. Once you have a rough estimate of your expected lifespan, the next step is to determine your personal, financial wind-down age. This age is not a specific amount of wealth, it's an age like 55, 57, or 60. Before this age, you're in the wealth accumulation phase, and your monthly expenses should ideally be less than your income. Once you reach this age, you transition into the wealth consumption phase, where expenses exceed income. Why set such a financial wind-down age? It's quite simple. If your net assets keep growing, you won't be able to achieve the goal of minimizing waste. You might miss out on many life experiences due to excessive saving or constant work. So, where is the appropriate wind-down age? The author, along with friends in finance, designed various hypothetical characters and conducted simulations covering different health conditions, income levels, growth rates, and interest rate environments. They concluded that, for most people, the optimal financial wind-down age falls between 45 and 60 years old. The specific choice of wind-down age is heavily influenced by health conditions. For those in good health, the wind-down age can be slightly delayed, such as beyond 60, as their capacity to enjoy various experiences declines more slowly. Let's assume you've set your financial wind-down age at 55. Before reaching that age, the author suggests using a dynamic version of the balanced financial formula to plan your expenses and savings. The balanced financial formula can be understood as deducting essential expenditures like loans, rent, utilities, etc., from your monthly income. Then, allocate 60% of the remaining money for personal experiences and 40% for saving or investing. However, not all age groups follow this formula. Adjustments should be made dynamically. For instance, when you're young with plenty of experiences to explore and anticipate future income growth, you can lower your saving ratio. Conversely, if you've been in a low state for a while and can't muster the enthusiasm for experiences, or if the experiences you want decrease with age, you can increase your saving ratio. Regarding how much money is enough to save, the author provides a reference formula: subtract your retirement age from your expected lifespan, then multiply it by your estimated annual post-retirement living costs. This cost mainly depends on where you want to live after retirement and the standard of living you choose. If this calculation feels cumbersome, a basic retirement savings formula was mentioned in a previous book we discussed: multiply your current annual basic living expenses by 25. As for how to achieve this savings goal, the book has also covered this. If you're interested, you can review it again. With tools like expected lifespan, financial wind-down age, dynamic financial formula, and retirement savings formula, we have the means to tackle the problem of minimizing waste. At this point, you might still have an unresolved concern: isn't it selfish to optimize my own life this way? Don't I want to leave something for my children? The book's answer to this is, of course, you can leave money for your loved ones, like your children. But do you have to wait until after your death to give them this money? You can certainly devise a plan to provide this money when it would bring your children the greatest benefit, and once you've given it, the money is no longer connected to you. The concept of minimizing waste refers to your personal money, excluding this sum. Why does the author provide this advice? He explains that if we only let our children inherit our wealth after we die, it's equivalent to leaving the distribution of our remaining assets to chance. How can randomness be truly considerate of their well-being? You can't know how much utility your hard-earned money will provide them once it's in their hands. Data shows that people typically receive inheritances in their later years, a time when their capacity to enjoy experiences is often diminished. The author conducted an online survey asking people at what age they'd most like to receive an inheritance, with thousands of participants. More than half chose ages 26 to 35, and nearly a third selected ages 36 to 45. It's evident that given the choice, people generally prefer not to wait until they're older and have less demand for money to receive an inheritance. By giving children the money when they need it and can make the most of it, you're actually helping them optimize their lives. Additionally, the book provides a noteworthy reminder: the true inheritance you leave your children isn't money, it's the shared experiences you've had together. Especially the lessons you've taught them as they grew up and the cherished memories you've created together. About this, there's a story in the book that deeply moved me. The author has 2 daughters, and when they were very young, they often watched an animated movie together about a long-nosed creature. The author cherished these moments. However, one day, when the author set aside time and invited the younger daughter to watch the movie again, the 10-year-old girl refused, stating that it was something only little kids watched. The author mentioned that if someone had warned her beforehand that such a day would come, she would have made an effort to watch it with them a few more times. Unfortunately, in reality, you can hardly predict which day marks the end of your ability to continue having a certain experience. In a sense, each of us dies countless times throughout our lives, meaning, every phase of our existence has a finite duration. For instance, the version of you as a college student, as a single unmarried person, as a parent, or as someone in their prime, all cannot exist perpetually. Perhaps the term death might sound harsh, therefore, we can put it differently: we are continually progressing, transitioning from one life phase to another. In each phase, it's like we have a fresh new life, an opportunity to acquire new experiences and live to the fullest. Just as the author and daughters shared the phase of watching the long-nosed creature, which is now gone, she can still enjoy other life experiences with them, such as watching them play soccer, appreciating their dance performances, taking trips together, and so on. Of course, they will grow up one day, this phase will pass, and a new one will begin. However, regardless of the phase, the story of the long-nosed creature doesn't stop playing out. Therefore, the author mentions that in each life stage, they earnestly ask themselves, what is your long-nosed creature in this phase? Are you grasping it well? Alright, these are the key points from the book that I wanted to share with you. It can be said that this is a unique wealth and life guide. What the author strives to convey is not how to grow wealth, but how to enrich life. Taking an engineering perspective, the author transforms the question of how to spend money to live a regret-free life into an optimization problem. Specifically, it's about maximizing happiness and minimizing waste. Regarding achieving maximum happiness, the author's viewpoint is that your life is a sum of experiences, and the quality of those experiences matters. Therefore, it's important to invest in experiences and to plan for experiences during different stages of life. Regarding minimizing waste, the author offers the concept of striving for a zero balance before death, and provides tools such as calculating expected lifespan, identifying the net asset turning point, using dynamic financial formulas, and employing retirement savings formulas. The idea of achieving a zero balance before death is an idealized thought model. In the book's conclusion, the author acknowledges that this is an almost impossible task. Even if we strictly adhere to every piece of advice in the book, it might not be achievable in the end. However, that's okay, because the goal has fulfilled its true purpose, to guide you toward the direction of pursuing an optimized and fulfilling life. This goal can help you reflect on your life more consciously and not merely go with the flow, busy with earning, spending, and saving money. Going with the flow is easier, but it can unknowingly drain your life's energy. A life of thoughtful consideration might demand more effort, but it enables you to wisely allocate your precious life energy, including both money and time. No one can achieve absolute perfection, but undoubtedly, we all need to cherish this one and only lifetime opportunity. Today, this book reminds us that life is a continual process of collecting experiences. So, start thinking about how to use your limited time and resources to attain as many happy experiences as possible. Doing so will almost certainly lead you to a profoundly enriched life. Congratulations, you've completed another book. Thank you for your support and attention. Please subscribe to the Tim Booker channel for audiobooks. Like and share with your family and friends. Wisdom is worth spreading. Embrace a bright future. Thank you and goodbye.